Set up a program for equal funding. Yeah.
It still smells out.
We'll have a dog food lined out down there.
I think his dog there.
Heart wrenching smell.
They can correct by the neighbor's lawn, you know. Try doing that, right?
But he did try getting it last week.
Yeah. In fact, I never will bring it to you.
Please rise for the pledge of flag and the invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, the strength that lies within you, let it be shared among us. Bestow upon us the continuous growth of good leadership, and never let us lose sight of the needs of our people and our city. Amen.
Amen. I used to have that one.
Clerk, call the roll.
Mayor Stafford.
Here.
Alderman Lincoln.
Here.
Alderman Sahaski.
Here.
Alderman Weston.
Here.
Alderman Sherman.
Here.
Alderman Thompson.
Here.
Alderman Woodward.
Here.
Attorney Hawthorne.
Present.
Present.
So we have one. I can tell you not to show you where we got to change. The Barbara Gallo? That is not his own change. The request is that we are right away.
Also right away. Okay.
Just keep going.
Okay.
Okay? And it's been brought to my attention. Matt. Very good. First item.
Resolved that the appointment by Mayor Stafford of Sandra Weston, 819 West 3rd Street, Fulton, New York, to the Fulton Planning Commission to fill the unexpired term of Ann Cardinelli, effective immediately and to expire February 14th, 2002, is hereby approved.
Do we hear a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain for reasons that they're obvious.
The abstention
Although
will be
I'm
noted.
fully supportive, though.
Next item.
Resolved that the appointment by Mayor Stafford of Mac Bixby, 407 East Broadway, Fulton, New York, to the Fulton Planning Commission, effective immediately and to expire February 14th, 2002, is hereby approved.
Motion?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item.
Resolved that this common council does hereby designate and authorize Mary Ann Brewer, 424 Erie Street, Fulton, New York, to conduct the 2,000 dog enumeration census to commence forthwith and to be completed no later than November 22nd, 2000, at a cost not to exceed $1,500, to be a direct charge to the 3510.4719 Control of Animals account. This is a budgeted item.
Motion?
I'll move it.
I can ask a question. How do they go about doing this?
Go door to door.
Door to door? One person?
One person.
Just knock on your door and ask if you have a dog?
Yes.
That's basically the way it works?
That's the way it works.
So the dog doesn't bark. That's how they do it.
That's my cat. My cat. If you hear barking, then you know there's a dog there.
There's a dog.
That sounds like a dog.
Are they checking to make sure the dogs have licenses too?
Yep.
They will also check the records downstairs for licenses, yes. That is how that is done. And Ms. Brewer has done this in the past.
How often is it done?
Hobson, do you know how often we do the dog enumeration?
years?
I think it's it's more often than that.
We were doing it every year, east side one year and west side next year, but I think it was took out of the budget one year, but we continue, we should continue to keep it in the budget because it does
Dog years.
What was that?
get a lot more licenses that year.
7 in a dog year. Very good. Do we hear a motion?
I'll move it.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item.
Whereas the owner of the building known as 66 South First Street, Maureen McCauley has commenced litigation against the city regarding the condition of her building. Whereas the city attorney has advised us that the material from our parking lot adjacent to said building encroaches upon her property, thereby constituting a continuing nuisance. And whereas the city attorney has advised us that it would be in the city's best interest to settle this matter, and this common council finds this to be the case. It is therefore resolved that the city hereby elects to settle said litigation by the payment of $90,000 to Ms. McCauley. It is further resolved that the city will not proceed against her personally for any taxes owed on said building. It is further resolved that this resolution is expressly conditioned upon receipt from Ms. McCauley of an updated abstract of title, an executed warranty deed, stipulation of discontinuance of the action, and a general release in favor of the city. It is further resolved that the mayor and city attorney are authorized to execute any documents necessary to effectuate the settlement.
I had asked Carol when she was here if she had gotten that other appraisal yet, and that she had made a couple phone calls, but I don't know if she got through to them or what the status is as far as the other appraisal went. Do you know what that appraisal was, by any chance?
The one that was just done?
The one that the Community Development Agency had done.
She hasn't received that as of yet. She thought she would have it today, but she didn't.
There.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
fellow aldermen, now the $90,000, does that apply to damages or for the purchase of the house?
Purchase of the building. Any other questions?
Yeah, let me see. Is it on this?
Yeah, it just came at 5 o'clock.
It's just proving to me that she signed the releases.
Oh, okay. She just signed it.
She has signed, they're supposed to deliver the abstract tomorrow. And the deed.
Does anyone on the council have any other questions concerning this?
Are we going to tear this building down?
Yes. We've already got a contract to demolish the building. I'll move it to answer.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next item.
Resolved, the city clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise to receive sealed bids in his office on or before October 6th up to 2 p.m. and to be publicly open at 2:15 in the Common Council chambers on the second floor for a vehicle exhaust removal system for the Fulton Fire Department, Station Number 1, in accordance with specifications prepared by Fire Chief Gurria.
Have a motion.
I'll move it. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item.
Whereas a zone change request submitted by Wilson Farms for a zone change from C1 commercial to C2 commercial for property located on the southwest corner of Oneida and South 7th Street was referred to the Planning Commission for the recommendation to the council. Whereas the Fulton Planning Commission at their meeting on September 11th, 2000 recommended to the Common Council that said zone change request be denied. And whereas pursuant to Chapter 177, subsection 177-49A and B, the Common Council, upon recommendation of the Planning Commission, must hold a public hearing. Now therefore be it resolved that the clerk is authorized and directed to advertise for a public hearing to be held on October 3rd at 7 p.m. in the council chambers relative to the zone change proposal submitted by Wilson Farms.
I'll offer that.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next item.
Whereas a zone change request submitted by Tannery Management Company for a zone change from R2 residential to R3 residential for property located on the east side of West 11th Street was referred to the Planning Commission for the recommendation to the council. Whereas the Fulton Planning Commission at their meeting on September 11th recommended to the Common Council that said zone change request be approved. Whereas pursuant to Chapter 177, subsection 177-49A and B, the council, upon the recommendation of the Planning Commission, must hold a public hearing. Be resolved, the clerk is authorized and directed to advertise for a public hearing to be held on October 3rd, 7 p.m. in the council chambers relative to said zone change proposal submitted by Tannery Management Company.
Can I ask a question, Joe? Do you have the vote as to how many were for or how many were against from the planning commission?
Yeah, it should be attached to the
That
minutes.
was in the minutes.
And it's attached to your resolution number 6. Okay.
Are you wondering about Mr. Patrick?
Yeah.
It says in here, Ken Patrick removed himself from the commission as he has an interest in the property.
Okay, that's what I
He was
was...
not involved in that at all.
Okay, that's good. Okay, and I find that here too. Okay,
You making that motion, John?
I'll move it.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next item.
Whereas right-of-way proposal submitted by Whereas the zone change request submitted by Mr. Cortini for a change of zone from R3 residential to C2 commercial for property adjacent to his business at 229 Cayuga Street was referred to the Planning Commission for the recommendation to the council. Whereas the Planning Commission at the meeting of September 11th recommended to the council that the zone change request be approved. Whereas pursuant to Chapter 177, subsection 177-49A and B, the council, upon recommendation of the Planning Commission, must hold a public hearing. Be it resolved, the clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise for a public hearing to be held on October 3rd in the council chambers regarding said zone change proposal submitted by Mr. Joseph Cortini.
I'll offer that.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next item.
Whereas the right-of-way request submitted by Mr. Frank Barbagallo Jr. regarding the right-of-way proposal to fill a ditch in his yard at 11-Person Drive was referred to the Planning Commission for the recommendation to the council. Whereas the Planning Commission at their meeting on September 11th recommended to the council that said right-of-way proposal be approved subject to Mr. Barbagallo filling the ditch at his own expense. Whereas pursuant to Chapter 177, subsection 177-54D, the council, upon recommendation of the Planning Commission, must hold a public hearing. Be resolved, the clerk is authorized and directed to advertise for a public hearing to be held on October 3rd at 7 p.m. in the council chambers relative to the right-of-way proposal submitted by Mr. Frank Barbagallo Jr.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item.
Whereas a vehicle has been abandoned in excess of 10 calendar days on the Oak Street school property. Whereas the vehicle's owner is in violation of Section 162-9 of the Abandoned Vehicle Ordinance of the City of Fulton. Now therefore be resolved that the Common Council authorizes the removal of said vehicle in accordance with Section 162-9 of the Fulton City Code.
Your Honor, can I ask you a question? Are we doing this because we have some interest in that property?
Could I speak to this, Mayor Duran?
Please.
Okay. Excuse me. That vehicle, it's a Jeep with a flat tire on it, California plates, has been in that same exact spot for over 5 months. And, you know, I turned this into code. At that time, the school district owned that property, so apparently a letter went to the school district, and now the ownership is CDA, and a letter went to CDA. Okay.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because a businessman on the east side had the same problem here last year and was told by our police department that any vehicle was abandoned on property other than the city's, they couldn't do anything about it. That was in the mall up at Eckers.
But I guess...
Somebody abandons a vehicle on your property, personal property, you most certainly can have it removed, but you got to pay for it.
Right, but that's the point I'm making.
Yeah. Well, this is on city property now.
Yes.
Because we now own that
Yeah, the
property.
Community Development Agency owns it, Ron.
All right.
So that's why we're taking the action.
Are we going to pay for it, or is the agency going to pay for it?
Well, the agency's going to have to pay to have it towed.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Is there Anyone in the audience that has any business to bring before the council? Is there any of the council members that have any business to bring before the council?
I'd like to say something. I'd like to thank our city firefighters, like the fire that we had here with the motel. I think they did a fantastic job. Also, a thank you out to the other fire departments in our county that responded and came into the city.
Thank you, Ed. Alderman Weston, do you have any?
I probably was going to say that.
You stole your thunder?
Ed beat me to it. But I was going to say the fire department, the police department, the DPW, the city officials, on and on and on. No, I yield to Majority Leader. Yeah, I know.
Alderman Lincoln.
No, I was going to say the same thing that I said.
Sherman?
Yeah, Bob.
Thompson.
Nothing.
Alderman Woodward.
And tonight, Mayor.
Very good.
Wow.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss contract negotiations.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
You're welcome. I wanted to show you, I'm also getting a personal release for you, me, and Tony, because we were, our names got